Hey everybody, it's Karen Bentley here. Thanks for finding your way to my channel. Hey, today I have the most exciting topic for you, and that is impeccability. And this is a radical idea, a revolutionary idea, a controversial idea. So if you don't like to be introduced to outside the box ideas, now's the time to click out of here. It is also an idea that might offend or insult you if you're a deeply religious person. It is contrary to the religious beliefs that you might have been trained in or grew up in. And so if you're the person who might be triggered by outside the box ideas, this is not for you. And if you don't like hearing about God stuff, even though we don't use the God term, this is not for you. Just click out. These are my ideas. Formulated over a lifetime, from my own channeling, from my own reading, from my own life experience. And I'm happy to share them with you. You are welcome to offer me alternative ideas in the comments. I welcome that. Let's have a conversation. Please, though, I ask, be respectful and be thoughtful. And I'd love to talk with you. So, are you ready? Are you ready for the big I, impeccability? What the darn carn is it? Why do we care about it? How does it relate to sin, sex, and celibacy? All right. So first off, impeccability is related to the life force. And we're going to do a pictorial display in just a second. I'm going to give you my kindergarten drawing of the life force. And impeccability is going with the life force. It is using your life energy in the purposeful, functional way that it is intended, the proper way that it is intended to be used, without mistakes, without hesitation, without waste. That is impeccability. If you are using your life energy the way it was intended to be used, you are an impeccable being. And in ancient times, the path of impeccability was the highest life that you could be living. And why did these men and women choose to live an impeccable life? Well, for a couple of reasons. One, it makes you powerful. You become an incredibly inner strong person when you become impeccable. And you become incredibly self-directed. And you become incredibly aligned with the life force, which makes power going with you. So that increases your power and your accessibility to power. And so you end up being able to do amazing things with your life. You can do amazing feats. You might be a Magi. You might be a wizard. You might be a brujo. You could use that power for whatever you want. Or you could conserve it and use it to avoid the endless cycle of reincarnation that we are all trapped in. I do believe in reincarnation. I think we've been here God knows how many thousands of lives. And to break free of that, you can't just be on your deathbed and say, oh, I don't feel like coming back, I'm done. No. That's not how it works. You have to prepare. You have to become strong, because why do you have to be strong? You have to be able to avoid the magnetism, the magnetic call, the magnetic pull, the irresistible magnetic pull of reincarnation. You are not being forced to do it. You are being lured to it. So you have to have the inner strength to override that lure and to recapture your own freedom. So if that's important to you, this is a path for doing it. And if it's not, it's just a nice fun factoid. So we need to look at the life force and what that's about to understand impeccability. And this is where my little kindergarten drawing is going to come in. Someday I'm going to grow up and have a real whiteboard, but this is what we're making do with today. I have 2 markers. You're just going to have to pretend I have colors and that my drawings are better than they are. So first off, what does the life force look like? So in my mind's eye, it's always in an upward trajectory when I see it in my mind. And it's always in this northeasterly direction. It's always in that trajectory and in that direction, and it never, ever changes. There are infinite number of filaments. Infinite number of filaments. I'm not going to draw them all. You get the idea. And these filaments, they're straight, but they're kind of squiggly. And what are they squiggly with? They're squiggly with aliveness. They're squiggly with awareness. They're squiggly with a luminosity of some kind. I don't know how else to explain it, but it's just this vibrancy that I see in my mind's eye. So this is the life force. It is immutable. It never, ever changes. There's nothing that I can do to change it. There's nothing you can do to change it. It is just immutable. So that's an important thing to understand, because especially as we get into topics of sin, I cannot disappoint the life force. I cannot get the life force angry with me. I cannot sadden the life force. The life force is the life force. I like to call this force the life force, or sometimes I say one force, or the vital force, or source, or creation. I use all those terms interchangeably. The one term I don't like to use is God. And why? There's two reasons. One is that I like saying life force because it conveys the idea of energy, even though it's an energy that we don't see, we don't understand. It's just this very strange kind of energy, but it's a kind of energy that we don't understand. And I like to say life force because I get that energetic idea from that terminology. And the other reason I like to use the term life force is because it's a neutral term. It's neutral. I come to it brand new. I come to it without any preconceived ideas that I've grown up with. And I like that about it. It doesn't have any hangover meanings for me, as opposed to the word God. I don't like the word God because it conjures up an image of a human-like figure, a male, senior, human-like figure, usually bearded, usually wearing a robe, usually with a staff. And that human figure is judging me from the moment I am born until the moment I die. And that makes me fearful of the term God. There's somebody watching me. He knows whether I'm naughty or nice. And that makes me fearful. Whereas life force, I'm not fearful. If I'm fearful of something, I don't want to go towards it. If I'm not fearful, or if at least I'm neutral, I'm willing to go towards it. I'm like, yeah, that's okay. I can go. So, you may be fearful, you may not. I'm just giving you my take on this, and that's what it is. So that's why I like the term life force, or one force, or vital force, or spirit, or creation, rather than God. And likewise, I don't use the names of religious masters that I love, that I respect, that I have learned from, like Jesus, like Buddha, like Allah, like Moses. I am not going to invoke them in this presentation because I don't want to attach religious ideas to this explanation. I'm trying to be as mechanical as I can be, as objective as I can be. And I don't want to offend anybody, and I don't want to leave anybody out. So I'm just trying to do it all in this one little friendly presentation. All right, so what is sin? What is sin as it relates to the life force? And what is impeccability as it relates to life force? So if you are an impeccable warrior, let's say you're an impeccable warrior, your life energy looks like this. It is aligned with the life force at large, and it is pointed in the same direction. That is the life energy of a wholly impeccable being. This being is not making mistakes. There's no waste. There's no hesitation. This is a sure, impeccable being. What is sin? What does sin look like pictorially? So if you are sinning, your life energy might be going like this. Nowhere. This might be just a total waste of life energy. Or you might be making a total U-turn and going crossways. Or you might be just stuck right there. So, those are what could be called sin, but that I prefer to call mistakes. And again, I have good reasons for wanting to retitle the same thing is happening energetically between a sin and a mistake, but the perception of them are wildly different, and the correction is wildly different, and the hangover is wildly different. So how good is that? You get three benefits from one change of mind. So let's look at the differences between sin and mistakes. Oh, excuse me, I'm sorry. Let's see. Okay, so on the one hand, we have some sins, and on the other hand, we have some mistakes. So other than, and this is God, and this is life force. All right. What else is different besides the names? So the first thing is we have some rules, right? We have rules or commandments. And if you break those rules, you're sinning, right? That's a sin, breaking the rules. And what are we doing here? We are being dysfunctional or purposeless. Dysfunction or no purpose. That's the difference there. And what else happens with rules? There's degrees, right? Maybe you're just breaking God's rules a little bit, right? And, the problem with degrees is that they let us compare ourselves to others, and they let us think, oh, well, that's not so bad. I'm not so bad as so-and-so. Or I didn't murder somebody, so that's not so bad. And they let us continue because the degrees make us think, we're okay. The one thing with mistakes is there's no degrees, right? And no degrees means you're either with the life force, you're either functional or you're dysfunctional. There's no in between. With it, not with it. And that makes for a clearer behavior decision. You either go with it or you don't. Easier peasier because it is clear, because there is no in between, halfway, oh, this isn't so bad, degree, I can live with it. So I like it because of that. What else do we have? Well, then we have judgment. Who's judging us? God and God's representatives are judging us as what? Bad or wrong? Bad, wrong. Bad person. If you're sinning, you're a bad person, right? What do we have here? We don't need judgment. No judgment. No judge. Just awareness. What is it that life force asks us for? Awareness. What were those life filaments? Those life filaments were made of awareness. They were alive with awareness. And so the life force is asking us to develop awareness, which is just an aha, oh, I didn't know, or oh, I didn't have that skill, or oh, I did it, I didn't know how to do it right. I have talked many times in other presentations about the ego robot that lives in us all. We all have an ego robot, and that robot will automatically, like all AI devices, it will automatically do things for us. It will get through an entire lifetime for us. We never actually have to be aware. We never actually have to pay attention. We can go through the motions and let the ego robot take over. And what the life force is asking us is to break free, even just momentarily, of the ego robot and have some collective moments of awareness. So judgment is not needed. All that's needed is awareness. So judgment is just a sin thing. Awareness is a mistake thing. What else do we have with sin? Oh, we've got punishment and retribution. Punish, right? We have to do things to make up for our badness. And we have to, announce ourselves as sinners and, say, yes, I'm bad and do things to make up for our badness. In mistakes, there's no punishment. The life force doesn't punish. Although there is an element of pain involved. And why is the pain involved? I'm going to get to this in just a second because I have to go back to my drawing to show it to you. But there is the life force is not punishing. We're punishing ourselves, and I'm going to show you that in a picture in just a minute. The life force asks for correction. So punishment, not necessary. Correction. Go with the force. That's what's necessary, right? And sin has a forever. You're forever tainted. People introduce themselves. I'm a sinner. I don't know. That's kind of sad to me. But, if it works for you, what can I say? But, this is, you're one and done. You're done. You fix it and you're done. So these are the big differences between sin and mistakes and as it relates to the life force. And now I'm going to go back to my picture. I'm going to erase this and go back to my little picture. So we've got the life force, right? The life force is going like this, this. And we're making a mistake in one way or the other. We're wasting our energy by doing this with our life force. And the reason that we feel pain is not because the life force is punishing us, but because our filaments are bent and contracted. And that literally causes pain. And or it literally causes our life force to drain away because it's being wasted. And that is painful. It is painful on a cosmic level. We think it's because we're bad or wrong, but it's because it's like going through life with a permanent abdominal contraction. You're just all bent over and in this permanent crunch, and it hurts to live like that. So this is where the pain comes from. It's not judgment. It's not badness or wrongness. It's because you're not aligned. The pain disappears the moment you take your energy and correct it. The pain disappears the moment you correct it. So you don't have to go through therapy. You can. You don't have to do a bazillion different steps. You can. All you have to do is correct your energy to get out of pain, to release that horrible contraction that just makes you miserable. So, okay, so that's the big differences with mistakes. With mistakes, we have function. Functionality is the key thing, function. The next thing is awareness of what we're doing or not doing. The next thing is correction. We're asked to correct. And the next thing is alignment. Align with the life force. That's all it takes to live an impeccable life, to correct your mistakes, to plug the holes where your life energy is being wasted or drained. And that's the deal with that. So to me, this is much easier to understand and deal with than the complicated concept of sin, which is so judgmental, so heavy, so hard to get rid of. And this just seems a lot easier to me. So I like mistakes versus sin for those reasons. All right, so we have let's go to the idea of sex. So what do you think that sex is for? What is the function? What is the purpose of sex? If you were just thinking in impeccable terms, what would be the functionality of the sex act? In my opinion, this is my opinion, it is creation. It is creation. When you are creating a baby, you are using sex the way it is purposely intended to be used. When you are using sex for recreational pleasure, in my opinion, and I am not judging recreational sex between consenting adults. Do what you want. I'm just giving you an idea here of how these ideas came into being. Recreational sex could be thought of as a waste, as a dead end, as energy that goes nowhere, that has no purpose. However, an alternative point of view is that sex for the purpose of maintaining a relationship, such as a marriage or a committed relationship, that actually has a purpose and value. You tell me what you think of that. I would be interested in your opinion. Sex that is used to get a relationship has purpose. Again, you tell me what you think of that. I like the radical view, but I like things really clear and crisp. So you tell me what you like. I think that sex, the only time that it's really aligned with a life force is when it is used for creation. But I'm open to your ideas. Also, the thing you need to keep in mind about sex is that we all have our own life filaments. We all have our own life filaments that comprise our life energy. And when we have sex with another person, our life filaments merge. They all merge. And this opens us to the intention and the energy and the influence of others that maybe we don't want. This is why people who've been married or in a long-term commitment seem to be more the same than different, because they have commingled their life energies for a long time. And it's my understanding that when you commingle your energy, it's not a one and done thing. The energy lingers. It lingers for quite a long period, more than a year. And also for women, this is a particular concern, because women have the function of transferring life energy to another. Women have this built-in function. When women are engaged in sex, they have the capability to transfer life energy to their partner. And so women always lose a little bit of life energy in the sex act. And is that what you want to do? Is that how you want to let your life energy go away by drabs, drabs that you don't notice because you don't pay attention to your own life energy? So I just bring those up as fun facts. You can take them or leave them. The other thing that we're going to talk about today is celibacy. So where does celibacy come in? So celibacy for the impeccable ones was not engaging in recreational sex and taking all that energy that would otherwise be wasted and putting it here for the accumulation of power to align with the force and to avoid endless reincarnations, or to just be a powerful being in their own life. So that is where the idea of celibacy came from. I believe it is still in practice today. I believe it has been slightly corrupted. It is still used as an act of devotion to God. I believe that it is an act of devotion, but it also gets confused with the concept of sacrifice, right? So I'm sacrificing for God. And sure, you can do that if you want, but are we asked to do it? No, we're asked for function, we're asked for awareness, we're asked for correction, we're asked for alignment. We are not asked for sacrifice. We're frequently confused that we need to sacrifice to please God, to be one with God, to be favored by God. But this is what's required to go with the force, and it has nothing to do with sacrifice. So you can do sacrifice if you want. I do respect the devotion that it takes to live a celibate life. Also, I have one more thing to say about celibacy. I mean, many people who practice celibacy, it's like how I protected my virginity when I was a teenage girl, because that was in the age before you did it, right? And so I did everything but. And, that was kind of like fake virginity, right? and if you're celibate and all you do is spend every waking moment thinking about the sex you're not having, I mean, it's fake celibacy. You might as well be doing it and, at least not wasting all your time having thoughts in that direction. So those are my ideas on impeccability, function, awareness, correction, alignment, and sin, which is rules, degrees, judgment, punishment, forever. And sex, which is it? Is it just for creation, or is it for purposeful relationship? You tell me. And celibacy, which used to be an act of conserving and saving power and is still an act of devotion. What do you think of that as a way to go about this? You tell me. And thanks so much for spending this time with me and my crazy board and this really brutally hot day here on Friendship Farm. I have 3 impeccable Warriors Way programs. They're at 3 different levels: the apprentice program, the journeyman program, the masterclass bootcamp. They all teach a different feature of impeccability. We do not address sex in the Warriors Way. That is your choice. You decide if you want to deal with that or not. We do not. We have plenty of other wasteful plugs to fill. And so we focus on magnificent life, living a life of purpose, a magnificent life of purpose. That's the fundamental thing. The next thing, stopping. You have to be able to stop yourself from wasting your life energy on mindless things and crazy addictions and stuff like that. Then we also do harmlessness. You have to be able to develop some emotional mastery so that you're not always, dealing with anger and disappointment and sadness and snits and revenge and just total distraction. So we do that. And then we also have extreme self-care. It's as good as it gets, baby. So check it out, KarenBentley.com. Come back. You know that I can't wait to be with you again. Not all my talks are this heavy, but I tried to lighten it up as much as I could for you. And hey, I can't wait to be with you again. Bye for now. Mwah.